This is an ancient rift valley. These are the first real plain sedimentary rocks that we've seen. They're by far the youngest we'll see today, except for that river gravel. And it's basically a red sandstone with a lot of boulders in it. The boulders haven't traveled very far because they're not all, they're a little bit rounded, but they're actually pretty angular. So they have not gone far like those river cobbles that we saw back at the last outcrop. And let's see, what are they made of? Whoa. Guess what?
Calcium carbonate.
Calcium carbonate, calcite, limestone as a rock. Now, the fault bounding the edge of the Rift Valley, where one side has dropped down and the other side is lifted up, is right over there at the base of that hill, just at the end of the road there. That's Point of Rocks. It's the south end of Catoctin Mountain.
I don't know if it's recording or not.
And what happens is when you get a Rift Valley is that the stuff washes in from the uphill side, from the mountain side, down to the base of the slope and fills the valley. The rock over there on that hillside is metabasalt. That's a problem. If this stuff came from just the other side of the fault, which is right over there, why is this all limestone? Just step in a little closer. I haven't lost a student yet. I'd like to keep it that way. So, does anyone have any suggestions as to what's going on? Now, there's an alternate possibility. Over the other side, at the last place we stopped at, we had Frederick limestone exposed over there. And it's possible it could have come all the way from the other side of the valley over there. And yeah, that is possible. But even if some of it came from over there, why isn't there any metabasalt here? It's almost all limestone, and this is certainly a lot closer. I'm glad you are.
I knew you would say it. Okay.
The fault over there probably has a couple of miles of motion on it. That is, the other side was lifted up 2 miles compared to this side. That compares to the fault along the side of the Owens Valley on the east side of the Sierra Nevada in California. Okay, but it had to start as just a little tiny fault. It didn't go 2 miles all at once. It did first a couple of feet, then maybe 5 feet, maybe a couple of feet more, then maybe 10 feet, no more than that at a time. And when it first started on the other side of the fault, it was that same limestone that you have over there. But now it's moved 2 miles. That limestone is somewhere up there. Well, of course, it's not there now. It's all eroded away. All the limestone on this side is gone because it was lifted up. A lot of it that was eroded away ended up washed into the valley here. And at the beginning, when the valley was still very small and the limestone was exposed, that's what started to fill in the valley. Now, most of the valley fill is gone too. This has been lifted up high enough so that most of the stuff that came in and filled the valley is washed away too. All we get to see is the first stuff in here that was in the bottom of the valley. I first found a place like this when I took a field geology course in California, and we were looking at a similar place where there was faulting. And on one side of the fault, it had a sandstone like this with a lot of boulders and rocks in it. And on the other side was bedrock, and the bedrock did not match the rocks in the sandstone until you went up higher and higher and higher in the section. When you got halfway up that pile of rock in the valley, then you started seeing the rocks that were exposed on the side of the valley. And of course the interpretation is exactly the same. Those rocks weren't exposed to start with, but as the side of that side of the valley got lifted up further and further, eventually that particular rock was exposed, and that's when it started showing up in the rocks in the valley. Here we don't have those particular rocks around anymore. They've worn away, the rocks in the valley that were higher up. All we've got is the ones at the bottom. So that's what you're seeing here. Oh, this is dinosaur age, by the way. And this rift valley here is the evidence we have for the pulling apart of the continent of Pangaea. This is when the Atlantic started to open, early in the age of the dinosaurs. It's still opening today. The folding that we've seen, and the faulting that we've seen, like the Martic Line fault and the fold that I showed you back over at Sugarloaf Mountain, that's the evidence for the assembly of Pangaea, because that's when Africa hit North America. That's what caused the faulting and the folding. Here, we're looking at the other end of it. We're looking at the destruction of Pangaea.
So where is the rift right now?
We're standing in it. We're standing in it.
Okay.
Of course, the fault itself is long dead. When an ocean starts to open up, frequently there'll be several lines along which it starts to open. Eventually, one of them will win out, and that'll become the new ocean. The other ones are just dead rift valleys, of which we have quite a few. The Mississippi Valley is a dead rift valley.
Really?
Well, it died about 500 million years ago.
But I didn't know it was a rift valley. That's fascinating.
Well, you can't see. The actual rift valley itself is completely buried under Mississippi River sediments.
But I thought it was
so you don't get to see anything.
Yeah, I thought it was just river going,
Probably the river was
eroding.
is there because of the original Rift Valley.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Wow.
So that Rift Valley, the St. Lawrence Valley is another one. That's an ancient Rift
of
Valley.
Laurentia, right?
Well, the St. Lawrence Valley.
Yeah, but isn't that the
from
formation?
Detroit down? The Laurentian, that refers to Laurentian National Park, and those are the ancient gneisses.
Okay.
That we're going to get to see on our next stop.
Okay. All right.
For those of you who aren't leaving,
all right.
some people, I guess, have got to go back. It's now noontime, so for those people who need to get back, this is probably the time to do it. Although I'm sorry you won't see we've got some really nice stops coming too.
I believe that.
But this one is one of the nicest here. Cool. Once you understand what's going on, Oh, by the way, as long as you're here and as long as you're leaving, I said that was meta basalt over there. That is the Catoctin greenstone, which covers several thousand square miles. It's a flood basalt, like the Columbia River basalts, and it records the cracking open of the previous supercontinent, Rodinia, about 700 million years ago.
Is it really green? I mean, it's called
green.
greenstone, but is it like jade green?
You'll
or
see
is
it.
Just harder to
You'll
see?
see it. It's sort of a dark greenish black or blackish green.
Okay.
Not a pretty rock. It's not an emerald or anything.
No. Well,
but it definitely is greenish.
Yeah.
You can